The man in the expensive suit was in a hurry. His phone buzzed relentlessly, emails stacked like bricks on a crumbling wall, and the world around him felt like a blur. He barely noticed the paper invitation handed to him until a tiny voice stopped him in his tracks. "Excuse me, mister," the little girl said, her voice soft but steady. She looked no older than 6, her curly brown hair tied up in uneven pigtails. "Will you come to my birthday party? Mommy's sick, but she'll still smile if you come." He paused. Her eyes were big and honest, too honest for a child her age. He glanced at the invitation clutched in her tiny hands. It was handmade, with crayon-colored balloons and a crooked smiley face drawn next to the words, "My 7th birthday. Saturday at 3 p.m. You're invited." The man, David, forced a polite smile and took the card. "Thank you," he said, not meaning to go. He had meetings, deadlines, and frankly, no space for a child's party in his life. But as he walked away, the girl's voice echoed in his mind. "Mommy's sick, but she'll still smile." David was a man who had forgotten what smiles looked like when they weren't rehearsed. A senior executive at a powerful firm, he lived in a high-rise condo with floor-to-ceiling windows, but no pictures on the walls. His days were mechanical. Work. Coffee. Work. Sleep. Repeat. But that night, as he sat alone, dinner untouched, his eyes fell on the handmade invitation sitting beside his laptop. Something about the girl's face, her bravery, her hope, it tugged at a part of him he had long buried. The next day, curiosity, or maybe something deeper, drove him to check the address. It was in a modest neighborhood on the edge of town, miles away from the polished offices and shiny glass towers of his world. He told himself he was only going to drop off a gift. Just 10 minutes, and he'd leave. Saturday came. He arrived at 3:15 p.m., holding a gift-wrapped box. An art set, something he remembered his sister had loved as a child. The house was small, with peeling paint and a squeaky gate, but it was decorated with balloons and streamers made from newspaper and construction paper. Laughter echoed faintly from the backyard. When he walked in, he saw her, Emily, the little girl with the crayon invitations. She wore a birthday hat slightly too big for her head, her smile stretching ear to ear. "You came," she squealed, running to him and grabbing his hand. And then he saw her mother. Sitting in a chair under the tree, wrapped in a shawl despite the summer warmth. Her face was pale, her cheeks hollow, but her eyes, they were bright with gratitude and love. "Thank you for coming," she said, her voice faint but sincere. She's been so excited all week. Her name was Rachel. Stage 4 cancer. Diagnosed less than a year ago. The treatments had taken their toll. But she smiled that day, smiled like her daughter said she would. As if for that one afternoon, she could forget the pain. David stayed longer than 10 minutes. He helped hang more balloons, he played musical chairs, and he even danced awkwardly during the birthday song. The kids laughed at how bad he was, and he didn't mind. It felt good. It felt like something he had forgotten, being human. As the sun began to set, Rachel asked him to stay for a moment. She wanted to talk. "I know I don't have much time left," she whispered, looking toward Emily playing with her cake. "I'm not afraid of dying, but I'm terrified of leaving her alone." David swallowed hard. "She won't be alone." The words came out before he could stop them. Over the next few weeks, David visited more often. He helped with groceries, attended Emily's school recital, and even took Rachel to her appointments when she was too weak to drive. Slowly, he became part of their lives. For the first time in years, he looked forward to something that didn't involve profit margins or performance reports. He remembered what it meant to care. To show up. To love. And Rachel, she began to see him not as a stranger, but as hope. Someone who might carry her daughter's dreams forward when she no longer could. When the end came, it was quiet. Rachel passed away one autumn morning, with Emily asleep beside her, clutching her hand. David was there. He organized the funeral. He held Emily when she cried. And he made a promise, to both of them, that he would protect the little girl who believed so fiercely in joy, even when the world seemed broken. A year later, David's life looked very different. He wasn't a cold executive anymore. He ran a children's foundation named Rachel's Smile, dedicated to supporting kids of terminally ill parents. And Emily. She now called him Uncle David, and sometimes, when she was feeling brave, just Dad. On her 8th birthday, she handed him another handmade card. Crayon balloons. A crooked smiley face. But this one said, "Thank you for coming to my life." And David smiled, a real, unfiltered smile. Because sometimes, the smallest invitations carry the greatest purpose. Moral message. Sometimes, the universe sends us unexpected invitations, not to events, but to become someone better. When we show up for others, we often find the missing parts of ourselves.